Human Rights Commission. We are very happy to have you here. You didn't join us for the march, but we know you are with us in spirit. We had more than 200 women. Some of them have gone for massage because they do not usually exercise. But for those of us who decided to wait for you, we really think it's very, very important. As women of Uganda, particularly as women who work for non-governmental organizations that form part of the civil society in this country, we have come together to put our voice on the current situation in our country. And one of the areas or the stakeholders that we think is very, very correct to target is your office. But we know as women of Uganda, we are going to have a sustained intervention. We are going to target the other stakeholders as well. We have a written statement, and I'm going to ask Stella Mukasa to go over this statement that is going to be presented to your office. And we know in your capacity, there are areas, we know you can't do everything, but there are areas where you're very strategic, and we're going to count on you for intervention on the particular areas. Stella, you're welcome.
Thank you. Our most esteemed chief guest, Mrs. Margaret Ssekaggya, from the Office of the UN Special Rapporteur on the Situation of Human Rights Defenders, the representative from the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, fellow members of the procession, the general public, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give a summary of the statement focusing on the key concerns we want registered and addressed by our chief guest, because we have taken the time to read through the whole statement publicly. The statement is the Uganda Women's Civil Society Organization's statement on the use of excessive force, and it reads: over the past few weeks, we've witnessed a series of disturbing events in which we have seen the state and its law enforcement agencies respond in a brutal and often excessive manner to citizens' demands for government action to address increased prices, cost of living, biting and growing poverty, inequality in distribution of resources, and corruption. We as women in civil society have today convened and done a procession to register our deep concern and condemnation of the use of excessive force by the police and other security agencies and the subsequent escalating violence, and to call upon the state to take critical measures to address the key concerns and issues raised by the public so as to avert a national crisis. In particular, we wish to register a deep concern over the following matters. Number one, the use of excessive force, and especially the use of live ammunition to quell demonstrations, indiscriminate physical assaults on civilians, spraying of vast amounts of tear gas in closed spaces, including cars, schools, dispensaries, and homes, which have occasioned loss of life and property, severe injuries and pain among innocent children, bystanders, those at work, and urban dwellers. We are greatly concerned that rather than enjoy state protection, citizens appear to be increasingly preoccupied with defending themselves against the wrath of the state. We are deeply concerned about the brutality of officers of the Uganda Police Force and other security operatives in handling the Walk to Work campaign, which amounted to cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment for those that were arrested and also those that were affected. 3, we are solidly concerned about the intimidation of human rights defenders who have spoken out on various issues of concern, including the declining space for civic engagement. We are seriously concerned about censorship of the media and the curtailing of press freedom and freedom of expression, including intimidation and security threats to journalists and media houses carrying out their duty as a watchdog of the state and provider of information to the public. We are concerned about the increased erosion of the independence of the three arms of government and lack of accountability on the infringement of rights. The actions and decisions of some judicial officers have cast doubt in the minds of the public on whether justice is indeed being done. We are equally concerned that contrary to the public appeal for the perpetrators of violence to be brought to justice, the Minister for Internal Affairs has instead defended the use of brutal force. He saying such responses from government risk promoting impunity. We are concerned about the increased militarization of the state and use of armed forces to enforce law and order and to quell peaceful protests, which heightens risks of violent conflict and will affect the entire population of Uganda, including men, women, and children. We, as women in civil society organizations, are calling upon the government to respect, promote, protect, and fulfill the rights of its citizens as enshrined in the 1995 Constitution, and to exercise restraint in fulfilling its obligations. We want government to recognize that the language of force and violence alienates more than 50% of Uganda's population, the women, and it diminishes our initiative to exercise our civic duties within the public sphere. We are calling upon government to take proactive measures to address broader social justice issues and to ensure that key concerns voiced by various sections of the public are addressed effectively. We demand for strong policy measures to address issues of food security, unemployment, health, and education. We also demand for government's resolve to ensure greater transparency in the allocation and management of public resources, reduction of excessive government expenditure, and equitable distribution of benefits of economic growth to all citizens of Uganda. We hereby formally submit an appeal to the government and to the international community through your office of the Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights defenders, and we are requesting for thorough, prompt, and impartial investigations into the human rights violations committed by the security forces. Finally, we are calling upon the public to remain peaceful in the pursuit of various rights and to desist from violent actions. We're also calling for dialogue, national dialogue, between key parties, and we urge all stakeholders, including the regional and international community, to intervene in ensuring peace and justice prevailing in Uganda. Dated 9th May, Ugandan Women Civil Society Organizations.